The crossed wall clock of Hollowbrook. In a quiet corner of America, far from the noise of cities, there stood an abandoned Victorian house in the town of Hollowbrook. The townsfolk avoided it, crossing the estate rather than walking near its rusted gates. They whispered about a strange sound, flickering lights, and old wall clock that refused to stop ticking, even though no one had lived there for decades. But the whisper became scams when the Carson family bought the house. The arrival, David and Margaret Carson, along with their two children, Ethan, aged 20, and little Lily, aged 7, moved in. Televisioned by the house antigram, dusty calendars hung from the ceiling, faded wallpaper played from the walls, and in the main hall, above a stone fireplace hung the clock. It was massive, carved from black oak with carvings of twisted fins. Its pendulum gleamed like polished bone. At first, the family thought it was a beautiful relic, but then they noticed something strange. The clock don't come everywhere. It only came at 3:15 a.m. And when it did, the sound was not a simple bell. It was a hollow, echoing clack like a funeral toll, followed by faint whisper that seemed to shift from the wood itself. The first night, one their very first night, Margaret woke to the sound of the clock. She looked at the glowing red numbers of her alarm clock, 3:15 a.m. From the hallway she heard a child laugh, thinking it was Lily. She rushed out only to find her daughter fast asleep. When she returned to bed, she found a slip of paper resting on her nightstand. It was yellowed, torn at the edges, and scrawled in ink. Time runs backward in this house. Yours will too. The clocks cross. The next few days grow stranger. Ethan saw he heard footsteps inside the walls. Margaret often left a presence behind her, breathing down her neck, and Lily kept talking about a man inside the clock who whispered stories to her at night. One morning David tried to fix the clock, curious why it always stopped at 3:15. When it touched the pendulum, his hand turned icy cool. For hours afterward, they could not stop shaking, as if something had drained all warmth from him. That evening the clock struck again, but instead of a whisper, the whole house grunted as if it were alive. The windows rattled and voice echoed. No one escapes the hour. The legend of the clockmaker terrified the Carsons, scoured the town library, and discovered an old legend. The clock had been built in 1891 by Elias Grimspan, a clockmaker infamous for his obsession with time. He wanted eternal life, so he performed a ritual binding his soul to the clock, but the spell went wrong. Instead of eternal life, he was forced to drag others into his eternal torment. Every family that lived in the house vanished mysteriously. Their soul climbed up when the clock struck 3:15, the final night. On the seventh night in the house, the clock began to strike before midnight. The pendulum shook weirdly, the hands sprang backward, the house filled with icy wind. Ethan screamed from upstairs, and when Devin rushed to him, he found the boy staring at the clock. The glass face had turned black like a mirror, and inside it, shadowy hands passed outward, trying to break fire. One hand looked exactly like Ethan's own. The clock struck once, the lights flickered, Ethan vanished. The clock struck twice, Lily screamed, her teeny body pulled toward the fireplace. Margaret grabbed the daughter, but the moment of the clock struck a third time, but both of them dissipated into the black glass. David was the last. He stood frozen, tears streaming down his face as the clock struck a final. hollow note. His reflection in the glass twisted, grinned, and pulled him inside the house today. The Carson family was never seen again. The house stayed empty. The house sits empty once more, but if you dare to step inside at night, you will hear the clock still ticking. And if you are foolish enough to stay until 3:15 a.m., the clock will chime, and perhaps this time it will call your name.